If you bake regularly, a good stand mixer can completely change the way you work in the kitchen. Instead of holding a hand mixer while trying to prepare your ingredients, you can let the machine handle everything from whipping cream and mixing cake batter to kneading dough. But choosing one isn't as simple as picking the mixer with the biggest bowl or the highest wattage. Bowl capacity, mixing speeds, attachments, countertop space, and how well the machine handles heavier dough can all make a difference. And while some stand mixers are built for serious home bakers, others are better suited to smaller kitchens or occasional baking. So today, we're looking at 5 stand mixers that cover a range of budgets and baking needs. Let's find out which one could be the right fit for your kitchen. We'll start with one of the smallest options on our list, the Kitchen-in-the-Box 3.2-quart stand mixer. This mixer is designed for people who want the convenience of a stand mixer without bringing a large, heavy appliance into their kitchen. Its 3.2-quart bowl is a good match for smaller batches, and the compact design makes it particularly appealing if you have limited counter or storage space. It also has a tilt head design, 6 speeds, and comes with the basic attachments you'd expect, including a whisk, dough hook, and flat beater. That's enough versatility for everyday tasks like mixing cake batter, whipping cream, preparing frosting, and handling smaller amounts of dough. Another advantage is its lightweight design. Moving a large stand mixer around the kitchen can be a chore, so having something considerably smaller can be convenient if you don't leave your mixer permanently on the counter. But there's an important trade-off. The smaller bowl means this isn't the mixer I'd choose for someone who regularly makes large batches of bread dough, cookies, or cake batter. You may find yourself working in multiple batches. So think of this as a compact, everyday mixer rather than a heavy-duty baking machine. If you live in a smaller kitchen, bake in modest quantities, or simply want a stand mixer without committing to a large appliance, the Kitchen-in-the-Box is an appealing place to start. Moving up to number 4 is the Hamilton Beach 7-speed stand mixer, which takes a more traditional approach. This is a good option for someone who wants a full-size stand mixer, but doesn't necessarily want to spend premium money. It features 7 speeds and a tilt head design, giving you enough control for common baking tasks. You can use lower speeds for combining ingredients and gradually increase the speed for mixing, whipping, or beating. One feature that makes this mixer particularly practical is its mixing action. The beater is designed to move around the bowl while also rotating, helping ingredients get incorporated without requiring you to constantly stop and scrape the sides. It also comes with the 3 basic attachments: a flat beater, dough hook, and whisk. That means you're getting the essential tools for cakes, cookies, whipped cream, frosting, and bread dough without having to purchase attachments separately. However, this is still a budget-oriented mixer, and that's important to remember if you regularly make very heavy dough. It isn't the machine I'd pick for someone who spends every weekend making large batches of dense bread. But for everyday baking and occasional dough making, it offers a useful balance between functionality and price. If you're buying your first stand mixer and don't want to spend a fortune, the Hamilton Beach is worth a look. Now, if bowl capacity is high on your list of priorities, the Aucma 6.5-quart stand mixer deserves your attention. This machine gives you a much larger bowl than the compact mixers we've looked at so far, making it particularly interesting for people who like preparing larger batches. The 6.5-quart stainless steel bowl gives you plenty of room for bigger recipes, while the tilt head design makes it easier to access the bowl and change attachments. You also get multiple speed settings along with the standard whisk, mixing beater, and dough hook. And this is where the Aucma becomes interesting for budget-conscious bakers. You're getting a large capacity mixer without jumping straight into the price range of some of the premium brands. That larger bowl can be particularly useful if you're making several dozen cookies, preparing large amounts of cake batter, or mixing larger batches for family gatherings. But bigger isn't automatically better. The machine takes up more counter space than the smaller options, and if you normally bake small recipes, that extra capacity may not provide much benefit. There's also a difference between having a large bowl and having the power and refinement of a premium heavy-duty mixer. So I'd look at the Aucma primarily as a large capacity budget option, rather than a direct replacement for a professional-grade mixer. If you want plenty of bowl space without spending premium money, though, it's an interesting choice. At number 2, we have the Cuisinart Precision Master 5.5-quart stand mixer. This is where we're moving into a more polished stand mixer experience. The 5.5-quart stainless steel bowl gives you plenty of capacity for everyday family baking, while the 12-speed system gives you considerably more control than the budget models we've already covered. Whether you're gently combining ingredients, mixing cookie dough, whipping cream, or working with heavier mixtures, having a wider range of speeds can make it easier to find the right setting for the task. The tilt-back head also makes it convenient to access the bowl and switch attachments. And like the other mixers on our list, it comes with the essential attachments for common baking tasks, including a chef's whisk, dough hook, and flat mixing paddle. One of the biggest advantages here is that it feels like a good middle ground. You're getting more capacity and control than the smaller budget mixers, without necessarily jumping into the price or size of a high-end professional machine. There is one limitation to keep in mind, though. While the Cuisinart can handle a wide range of baking tasks, it isn't necessarily the first choice for someone who regularly works with extremely stiff dough or very large batches. And although Cuisinart does offer additional attachments, it doesn't have the enormous attachment ecosystem that has helped make KitchenAid mixers so popular. Still, if you want a capable, versatile stand mixer with a good-sized bowl and plenty of speed control, the Cuisinart Precision Master is one of the strongest options on this list. And at number 1, we have the KitchenAid Artisan Series 5-quart stand mixer. There is a reason this style of KitchenAid has become such a familiar sight in home kitchens. It combines a useful 5-quart capacity with a compact enough footprint for everyday home baking, and it offers an enormous selection of compatible attachments. The mixer is built around a tilt head design, making it easy to add ingredients, remove the bowl, and switch between attachments. The included flat beater, dough hook, and wire whip cover the basic jobs most home bakers need. You can use them for everything from cake batter and cookie dough to whipped cream and bread dough. But one of the biggest reasons to consider KitchenAid is what happens after the basic attachments. Depending on the model and compatibility, KitchenAid's attachment ecosystem can turn the mixer into much more than a traditional stand mixer. There are attachments designed for tasks such as pasta making, grinding, slicing, shredding, and more. That gives the Artisan a level of versatility that is difficult to match. It also has a 5-quart bowl, which is large enough for most everyday home baking projects without being as bulky as some of the larger capacity mixers on the market. Of course, there are drawbacks. KitchenAid mixers can be considerably more expensive than some of the budget alternatives on this list, and the additional attachments can add to the cost. If you only bake occasionally and mainly make simple cake batter or frosting, you may not need everything this mixer offers. But if baking is a regular part of your routine and you want a stand mixer that you can continue building around over time, the KitchenAid Artisan is the most complete choice on our list. So, which stand mixer should you choose? If you're working with limited space and mostly make smaller batches, the Kitchen-in-the-Box 3.2-quart stand mixer gives you the convenience of a stand mixer without taking over your kitchen. For a budget-friendly full-size option, the Hamilton Beach 7-speed stand mixer is worth considering for everyday baking. If your priority is a large bowl without moving into premium pricing, the Aucma 6.5-quart stand mixer gives you plenty of capacity for larger batches. For a more refined middle ground option with a 5.5-quart bowl and plenty of speed settings, the Cuisinart Precision Master is a strong choice. But for the best combination of performance, versatility, capacity, and long-term flexibility, our top pick is the KitchenAid Artisan Series 5-quart stand mixer. The most important thing is to choose based on how you actually bake. A large bowl isn't necessarily better if you're only making small batches, and a premium mixer isn't necessarily worth the extra money if you only bake once in a while. If this guide helped you narrow down your options, don't forget to subscribe to Home and Kitchen Finds for more kitchen appliance reviews, comparisons, and buying guides. You will also find the links to all the products mentioned in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.